What's up guys, Ryan from Hardway. We are back with our 1969 Cummins powered Nova build. It's been about 2 months since I've done a video. We've been extremely busy. The last video you saw, part 3, right Craig, part 3? Part 3 was just getting this thing out of paint. It didn't roll, it still doesn't roll, so not a whole lot's changed on that part. We just got it out of paint and we were in the process of getting the car here, getting all the stuff that we had painted back together and trying to make it a complete car. So since then we have actually gotten rid of the wheels and tires all the way. I sold the fronts, actually went to the fire pump crew. So my front wheels from this car were on their truck when they went their 411, so I'm going to go ahead and blame that solely on the front wheels. That's the only reason they went that fast from this car, so I'll never let them live that one down. Also, the wheels are going to be chrome. We talked a lot in the earlier videos about what was going to be black and what was going to be no white roof. Stop asking me. What was going to be, you know, what color. So we are going to do the chrome wheels. So we're going to have chrome wheels, an entirely blue car. We're going to leave the factory chrome accents, the mirrors, the factory trim, just a few pieces along with the wheels, and an all the way blue car, no vinyl roof, no white roof. Stop asking me, the answer is no. Last time you saw this car, there was, I don't think there was a rear end in it. I think the rear end, or maybe I was just putting it in. I don't remember. I need to go back and watch that last video to see exactly where we're at, but Craig will get some close-up shots of it here, but we do have the rear end fully mounted in the car, shocks mounted up, anti-roll bar links are back from chrome and back on. We do have our strange third member, nice and tucked in there, 273 rear gears. Funny part about these rear gears is they are a 40 spline pinion, very rare setup on the pinion, so the whole thing is a Strange rear end, but Strange doesn't make a 40 spline yoke, so it's got a Mark Williams yoke in it. Kind of cool stuff. Also, just recently we got our wheel tubs in, so they just fell into place. Tin Soldiers had them already all cut out and all ready to go, so those things literally, I mean, just literally fell into place. The bolts lined up, couldn't have possibly made my job any easier. So we got our battery in. We are going to use 2 batteries. One's going to be in the back of the car, back here by the switch, and so this of course is already all hooked up. I don't know if you can see from that angle, but you can see the 2 studs through there. So now it's up to me to get the other studs mounted up front and run some more cables. We will have an additional battery mounted up front, and that's going to be specifically for the starter. All right, so interior upgrades we've done so far. I don't know if this was in our last video, but we got our screen mounted up. We also have Randy at Old School Fab got our interior panel right here cut out, and it fits perfect right in the spot. We got our Motec ECU and the power management solid state dealio over there, all mounted up. That's its permanent home. So you see the shifter's right where it needs to be. If you sit in this car, everything is just perfect where it needs to be. The seat is comfortable, the pedals are comfortable. It's going to be really nice to drive this car. So we're getting the wiring, batteries already set up in the back. So the next couple days I'm going to get the wiring ran up to this power management unit, and we'll go from there. Got our trans brake buttons in, bump button. Line lock's gonna go right here on the shifter. Basically set up every car the same way. That way I can hop from one to the other and they're all set up the same and work. All right, so our intake here from Fleece Performance. This thing is beautiful. It's got these 3 channels up in the inside, or 2 channels rather, to divert air equally to all the cylinders. However, for a drag racing application, especially in an older car like this, it's too wide. As you can see, I have no way feasible to get air to this pipe right here. So the boys up at Fleece Performance Engineering are actually remaking this piece to be exactly as is, but it's going to be 4 inches shorter to give me all the room in the world to get a charge pipe into here and make it all fit. Also, turbo wise, we went over as a team basically 2 dozen different ways to mount this turbo. This is how the car was on the turbo was on the green car, basically facing the firewall with no real direct path to fresh air. And then the exhaust of course came straight out here and out the fender. I had a manifold sent to me from Steve Speed. That manifold did not fit, beautiful piece, just didn't fit here. I had Stainless send me another version of this same manifold I'm already running with a little bit of angle to it. Also did not fit. We tried the turbo facing forward. The whole goal was to get some sort of ram air effect to the turbo. We also looked heavily into building a turbo header setup and putting the turbo in a different location. And basically for the sake of time and sanity, we're just gonna leave it the way it was. So this worked very well in the other car, went very fast. exhaust is going to come out here, make a hard right-hand turn, and go out right behind the headlight. And that's going to be it. I just got pictures today of our front timing cover setup. We are going to have both injection pumps sitting right up front up here, and then the dry sump pump is going to be down here, nice and tucked in. The green car had one pump in the front and one pump in the rear, making access to this pump in the rear underneath this intake, as well as any sort of maintenance or required that was on the dry sump setup, extremely difficult. Essentially, if we wanted to work on anything down here, we had to pull the cylinder head off, and it was a pain in the ass. So we don't want to do that anymore. As you can probably imagine, sticking a inline 6-cylinder Cummins in a front of a 69 Nova with all this additional stuff going on is not easy. So we're going to run the turbo backwards. You kind of see how we've got mocked up here how the turbo piping is going to be, so you can get an idea of it coming out of the compressor. A little elbow heading down that way. It's going to come up basically where Dylan's arm is and make a turn to go up over this way. And then give me that piece, Dylan, and go right in this little hole right here. So coming out of here, straight into here, and then with this intake being 4 inches shorter, we're looking to have this thing come straight up and right into the intake right here. So there'll be a couple of bends. That's as short and simple as we can make it. Here we are, wrapped up with current, what is the date? November 1st, 2nd, 12th, 32nd, 2nd, 45th? Yeah, day before the Civil War. Current state of the race car. We are looking to test in January, first week of January at the latest. We've got a lot of progress to be made in the next 60 or so days, so stay tuned. We'll make a lot more videos. Hopefully keep up with a lot more progress. We, of course, are waiting on wheels. We got to paint the car. That's not necessary to get down the track. We have a date with Freedom Racing Engines around Thanksgiving, either right before or right after Thanksgiving, to go ahead and dyno tune the actual power plant that's going to go in it. And once I have that, we're ready to race.